I am the owner of a dilapidated inn. Business has been tough, but I have a reason why I must protect this place. Just when I was about to give up, a penniless old woman with a story appeared.
I've always been a burden.
Treated harshly by her son, she reminded me of my own grandmother. And with a single word from her, unbelievable changes began to happen at my inn. My name is Zach O'Neill. No customers today either, huh? The inn I run is in shambles. Hardly anyone would choose to stay here. Even I think so. But this place is important, handed down to me by a mentor. I want to protect this place with all my heart, so I continue to run the inn. That mentor was my high school soccer coach. In my childhood, I lived with my grandmother and mother. With my mother busy with work, my grandmother was always there for me. She cooked, bathed me, and stayed with me until I fell asleep. Wrapped in her warmth, I never felt lonely. However, in third grade, my grandmother passed away due to illness. Although my mother continued to work hard as the family breadwinner, we hardly spent time together. But thanks to my grandmother teaching me the basics of household chores, I managed fine. In my first year of high school, my mother suddenly passed away from a stroke. The coach, who took me in, let me stay in a room at the inn his father managed. After graduating high school, I left the inn and started working out of town. Then, at a soccer reunion 10 years later, I met the coach again. He told me he was about to close the inn he had inherited from his father after I left. Wanting to somehow keep the inn that had welcomed me in, I begged him to let me take over. It was on a pleasant autumn day, with a refreshing breeze, that I met the old woman named Barbara.
Excuse me.
While cleaning the entrance of the inn, bathed in the sunset, I heard a voice behind me. I turned to see a small elderly woman, probably around 70, standing there. "What can I do for you?" The old woman had good posture and wore neat clothes, carrying only a small shoulder bag, as if she was out shopping. Clearly, she wasn't a guest.
I forgot my wallet. But I promised to pay later. Can you let me stay tonight?
Well, sure. Her anxious expression turned to relief.
Thank you. My name is Barbara. I was really in trouble.
I remembered my grandmother. Though they didn't look alike, her gentle tone brought me comfort. I hurriedly put away the broom and showed her to a room. "You don't have much luggage." Barbara, with a sad expression, looked away.
It's better to travel light.
Sensing there was more to her story, I respected her privacy. She declined food, but I decided to eat dinner with her out of concern. With few ingredients available, I prepared a simple meal.
You're young, but your cooking is quite gentle.
Despite the simplicity, she seemed pleased. Barbara didn't talk much about herself, but listened to my stories with a smile, about my childhood, my mentor, and the inn.
What's the concept of this inn?
Concept? Why did I take over this inn? To share the warmth I felt here with others. The concept is a warm and welcoming space where you can feel at home.
That's wonderful.
She nodded approvingly. The next morning, I couldn't offer much hospitality, so there's no need to pay. Talking with you was more than enough for me. Thank you. Though surprised, she thanked me repeatedly before leaving. The inn's business didn't improve, and I decided to look for a job. Another unsuccessful interview. 2 months into job hunting, with no success, I sat on a park bench, holding a hot coffee, when someone sat next to me. Under a wide-brimmed hat, I recognized the profile. "Barbara?" She turned to my voice. "It's Zach, from the inn."
Oh, Zach. You look different in a suit. Sorry I didn't recognize you.
Dressed in a suit with styled hair, I looked different from the innkeeper she met. Next to her was a Boston bag. "Are you traveling?"
Oh, this.
Barbara patted the bag and shook her head.
It's not a fun trip. I need to find a place to stay for a while.
She sighed and looked sadly into the distance. "If my inn is okay, please stay as long as you need." Barbara looked at me with wide eyes.
Thank you so much. Again.
She said, bowing her head apologetically. 2 weeks passed since Barbara started staying at the inn. To show her gratitude, she cleaned every corner.
This shelf would be better over there.
Her ideas transformed the inn into a much more pleasant space. One day, a luxury car stopped in front of the inn. A well-dressed man and woman got out, the man roughly saying, "Is an old woman named Barbara here?" The man, who seemed around his 40s, glanced disdainfully at the dilapidated inn. "Who are you?" "I'm her son, and this is my wife." Now that I looked closely, his nose and mouth resembled Barbara's. But unlike her warm demeanor, he was the opposite. "Can you keep her here? She's always been a burden." "I'll pay whatever it takes." What was he saying? Barbara was healthy and independent. Why did he despise her? Then the wife spoke up.
"Barbara is just a nominal president. She travels and plays while we handle the office work. Honestly, I wish she would retire."
Her eyes, behind sunglasses, were not smiling. "How can you talk about your family like that? Take care of her." Ignoring my protest, they drove off. How awful. I felt anger rising.
I'm back.
"Barbara, your son and his wife were here." I didn't know how much to tell her and hesitated. Understanding my unease, she began to speak.
I'm actually the president of a company with many branches.
Her company was not only in Japan but had offices overseas. When Barbara took over the company founded by her father, it was still a small business, but over the past 30 years, it has grown significantly. It must be thanks to her intelligence, initiative, and great personality.
Lately, my son keeps insisting. He says I should retire and hand over the company to him.
Barbara's face suddenly looked sad. She said that both her son and daughter-in-law used to work hard as part of the company and were kind to her. However, as the company grew, they became interested only in money and told her that if she didn't step down as president, they would throw her out.
In fact, they have already kicked me out twice. Both times, you helped me, Zach.
Barbara laughed sadly. I felt nothing but anger towards her son and his wife, who didn't value family. "You can stay here as long as you like, Barbara."
Thank you. I wish I had a son with a kind heart like yours.
Her eyes were teary. One day, a foreigner visited the inn. "Excuse me." Hearing broken English, I, who couldn't speak any foreign languages, panicked.
Oh? You came.
"Yes. "Barbara, it's been a while." I was taken aback. It seemed this foreigner was a friend of hers.
I often traveled overseas for work, so I have quite a few friends around the world.
She said it so casually. She really is different, being a president and all. Seeing me clearly flustered in front of the foreign guest, Barbara spoke to me.
Zach, why did you start this inn?
To provide a warm experience of everyday hospitality in this place.
Then, no matter who the guest is, be proud of your way and stand tall.
Guests are the ones who are traveling, so they won't expect you to speak a different language. People who choose an inn over a hotel want to feel closer to local life, so Barbara advised me to provide hospitality in my own way. Encouraged, I worked hard to give guests the experience I envisioned for the inn. What kind of hospitality would delight foreign guests? I wanted them to experience even a little bit of American culture. I was thrilled to have guests after a long time. That night, the three of us enjoyed American food and played American card games. The guest, who experienced American culture, was genuinely delighted, and above all, I think I was the most lively I had ever been. The next morning, as I saw the guest off at the nearby station, he said, "Zach, I had a great time." "Thank you." Those words gave me a bit of confidence in my way of doing things. "Thank you for spending irreplaceable time with us. We promised to meet again and parted ways."
I'm sure it's going to get busy from now on. He he he.
As Barbara predicted, inquiries about staying at the inn gradually increased. It seemed that the previous guest had posted about our inn on social media. I checked the post myself. Along with a picture of the three of us playing card games, it said, "The hospitality was wonderful." All three of us looked so radiant and happy. Most of the guests who came to our inn were acquaintances of Barbara. She had a wide network both domestically and internationally, and many people visited the inn to see her, a testament to her great reputation. Thanks to this, the inn's business gradually stabilized, and I decided to stop job hunting and focus on running the inn. One day, a familiar luxury car stopped in front of the entrance. It was Barbara's son and his wife. I couldn't forgive them for treating her so poorly. "Barbara, please go to the other room." I led her away to avoid her hearing any more of her son's harsh words. I wanted to kick them out immediately. However, as soon as they came in, they said, "Please give us back the president." Unlike the last time, their arrogant attitude had disappeared. They explained that the company's management had started to decline significantly in her absence. I wasn't ready to be president yet. Her son looked remorseful. Barbara had grown the company significantly. Naturally, she must have a deep attachment to it. But the inn's success was undoubtedly thanks to her, and I wanted her to stay here forever. To be honest, the inn's business didn't matter. From the first time I met her, Barbara's grandmotherly warmth had saved me countless times. It felt like living with my beloved grandmother again, and my heart was fulfilled. I wanted to continue living with her as a family. As I pondered this, Barbara's voice rang out from behind.
What nonsense are you talking about? I won't listen to someone who values money over their parent.
Barbara rebuked her son and daughter-in-law. She explained the importance of valuing relationships, and showing consideration and respect to each person to succeed in society. The son and his wife left, dejected. After they were gone, Barbara, with her usual gentle smile, said,
You have a wonderful heart. It'll be okay.
Her words carried weight and gave me courage. Thanks to Barbara, I gained confidence. And afterward, I started expanding the inn to various locations with her. The concept remained the same, a space wrapped in warm hospitality of everyday life. It was actually my mentor's dream to expand the inn to various locations. Although my mentor had already passed away, I was determined to fulfill his dream. Keeping what I learned from Barbara close to my heart, I worked diligently with conviction. However, when we decided on the 5th inn location, Barbara succumbed to pneumonia and passed away. On the inn's website, where Barbara regularly blogged, condolences from friends around the world poured in. She truly was an amazing person. I had always relied on Barbara. I wondered if she had really been happy staying by my side. Now, I felt a pang of regret. Zach, long time no see. Turning around, I saw the man who first posted about my inn on social media. We promised to meet again, remember? Thank you for coming. I shook hands firmly with the man. I remembered the photo from when we played card games together. Back then, he, Barbara, and I had the brightest, most genuine smiles. Barbara must have treasured the days we spent together. Believing this, I returned to my work. Barbara, the other day, your friend came from Indonesia. Today is August 3rd, the anniversary of Barbara's death. Every year on this day, I visit her grave and update her on my life. Even after she passed away, her friends from around the world continued to use our inn. By the way, recently, someone asked if I was your son. I was so happy to be mistaken for her son. I told them that even though we're not related by blood, you're an important family member. They said that since we resemble each other, we must be family by heart. Barbara continues to live on in the hearts of her friends worldwide. Of course, she lives on in my heart too. I will strive to be like you, Barbara. So please continue to watch over me. Just like the bright summer sunshine, my future is bright and shining. How did you like this story? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.